Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shekhar Iyer and today Shekhar Iyer joins me and we talk about the just finished elections as well as all the things happening around various states. These were states that perhaps we did not touch last week, so it's time for us to go and look at some of these states. And let's now welcome our guest of the evening, Shekhar Iyer ji. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, Shriyati. Thank you very much.
Shekharji, let us start with the just finished elections in Gujarat and Municipal Corporation of Delhi, also Himachal Pradesh. What's your gut feeling telling you, sir?
Well, I think this time the first phase got over on Friday, and what we are seeing is the second phase is on Sunday, and the percentage of polling has been lower than compared to the previous elections, and people have been splitting hair here in India trying to find out what is the message. Is it what happens when the polling percentage falls? Because there is a general theory that when the polling percentage surges, it means it's a sign of anti-incumbency, getting the voters to go to the booth to vote out a government. Of course, this is not a thumb rule, rather, because we have seen occasions where the voting percentage increased, even in Gujarat, and BJP got a good mandate. But definitely, there is a sort of a voter apathy, in a sense. In some places that, because overall percentages come to 63%, which is about 5% less than last time in the first phase of Gujarat election. Similarly, even in Himachal, there was a dip in the poll percentage. So that is getting the major political parties to think what is happening. Because in Gujarat particularly, see, there is no single big issue which has got the voters strongly on this side or that side. Yes, many people say there is an anti-incumbency mood. There is an undercurrent which is against the BJP, particularly the BJP legislators, MLAs, ministers, and at the same time there is a pro-incumbency for Prime Minister Modi, because there is a great connect with Modi. Of course, he is the Prime Minister, and this time the BJP is entirely depending on the person of Prime Minister, as they have done in other states, in Gujarat too. So there are a lot of people are saying, how is it going? And the second thing is the Aam Aadmi Party, which is it's not a new entrant exactly, because the last elections they lost deposits everywhere, but this time they are doing much better. There's a lot of traction. Arvind Kejriwal managed to attract crowds in different places, with Saurashtra, South Gujarat, even in tribal areas. So will Aam Aadmi Party eat into Congress votes and by that process help the BJP win more seats than the previous time? Or will Aam Aadmi Party, cross that Rubicon of 20%, and then start gaining on its own? Because that will be alarming for BJP, because that would be a new player in the field before the Lok Sabha elections. So these are the things people are talking about. Of course, MCD elections is in Delhi tomorrow. In fact, the holding of MCD election forced Arvind Kejriwal to, cut his campaign days in Gujarat, and so he had to head back, because there has been a lot of heat from the BJP side, with BJP, parading all its leaders, all its central leaders, including Defense Minister. I mean, name anyone, they were out in the field. Even Assam Chief Minister was there in Delhi. So this is a high decibel campaign in Delhi, because the BJP has been running the Municipal Corporation of Delhi in its various avatars for the last 15 years. And this time, the central government managed to put all the three municipal corporations together. Sheila Dikshit, before she debuted office, had split these, the corporations into three parts: the Municipal Corporation of North Delhi, Municipal Corporation of South Delhi, and Municipal Corporation of East Delhi, in the hope that Congress would be able to control one of them. But finally, BJP ended up controlling all the three, two comfortably and one with the help of some independent. But the track record of Municipal Corporation of Delhi in the last 15 years has left lot to be desired in a city like Delhi. So therefore, Arvind Kejriwal has been winning assembly elections, but municipal corporation has been a kind of thing, he has to win it. His party has to win it before the next Delhi assembly elections in 2025. So we are seeing a very interesting battle, very intense battle, and it looks like BJP has managed to gain ground despite 15 years of strong anti-incumbency. They managed to showcase the houses built by with the help of central government, managed to take some slum dwellers to those places, which has bit upset Arvind Kejriwal's campaign. That's where the picture stands today, Shri Ayerji.
Thank you so much, Shekhar ji. Couple of observations, sir. One is regarding the, just give me 1 second, sir. Regarding the Gujarat polling percentage being lower, somebody made a very astute observation that the percentage was lower in traditional Congress strongholds, not in traditional BJP strongholds. The first phase is not the traditional stronghold of BJP overall. This is where the Congress was expected to do better. For instance, Saurashtra region has been a stronghold of Congress for a long time. So keeping that in mind, does it mean then that Congress is going to do even worse than what it has already been doing, sir?
Sir, apart from the low percentage, which you mentioned could affect the Congress, the fact that Congress had absolutely, I would say, a near zero campaign. They said that they had gone for a door-to-door campaign, a silent campaign, because they didn't want to be seen as Rahul Gandhi versus kind of Narendra Modi narrative. That's why Rahul Gandhi just made some guest appearances here and there. But the fact remains that Congress, which did so well in 2017, which had a very aggressive campaign, and where Rahul Gandhi covered all the regions of Gujarat, but this time, for reasons best explained, left to them to explain, that Congress did not do enough campaign in that kind of a scale that the BJP did. So what we are going to see is the BJP voters, would have, the committed cadres would have gone and would have voted. But at the same time, since the general Janta was feeling, anyway the BJP is going to come back. So, that kind of a lack of, great enthusiasm to go out and vote. And besides, it was on a weekday. Normally, the elections, if they are held in a weekend, the people or on a holiday they go. So it was a weekend. On the beginning of the week, so or the midweek, they best thought that they stay at home. So this has got a lot of people worried as to whether the fact that people were not enthusiastic in the sense they did not fear. The core BJP voters probably would have gone and voted, but others did think that there would be any big upsets. So at the same time, sir, what we are seeing is if the Aam Aadmi party has to gain at the cost of the Congress. This is the generally held belief. Suppose the Aam Aadmi party starts eating into BJP votes in some places, which is quite a possibility this time, because there is a sense of a feeling that Congress has failed to be an effective alternative. Also, a number of people who won last elections on Congress ticket, at least 10 of them shifted to BJP in the last 5 years. So there is a vacuum in the sense of a non-BJP formation as an alternative. So that leaves people, with trying to figure out as to which way is it going. There is no doubt the BJP will come back, but will the Prime Minister's desire for a record haul of seats, because the last record haul was 127 seats, that too in 2002 after the Gujarat riots, after the communal riots, BJP got 127. Since then, the numbers have been rather on the slide, and last election was pretty low in the sense it went below 100. That was in the aftermath of the Patidar agitation, who wanted quota, and that was effectively managed when they brought this 10% for economically weaker section, because Patels, given their economic profile, could not qualify as a socio-economic backward class. There is a difficulty like Marathas or Jats in Haryana. So there is that issue was there. But this time, Patidars are largely seen supporting the BJP, and the faces of those, agitation, number of them are BJP candidates, including Hardik Patel. So these are there. But at the same time, there is a sense of a disquiet, I would say, even in the BJP camp, because there was a huge anti-incumbency factor. A lot of it was corrected when in last year when they, Prime Minister Modi decided to sack Vijay Rupani, who was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, under whose tenure we saw way the COVID was handled. The health infrastructure crumbled in Gujarat. because normally people there don't go to government hospital; they prefer private medical services. So therefore, when the COVID required, them to go to the government hospital, the government system could take it. This was what was said. So these are some issues that has bothered. At the same time, there has been corruption also a major issue in this, particularly the systemic corruption at the middle level or at the level in which you and I, as a common citizen, face. When you want to get something done. So those are issues also have played, and which Arvind Kejriwal tried to say that when we come to power, we'll remove this, we'll remove that. But at the same time, I think the enthusiasm was missing largely in this election, and that has got reflected in the polling percentage. But that may not dramatically change the results.
Thank you, sir. And now one quick word on MCD elections. But before that, viewers, please like this video. And also, if you have any questions of Shekharji, use the hashtag #AskShekhar. And let's move on to MCD. Shekharji, this Municipal Corporation of Delhi, one of the promises that BJP made, they said that they will regularize some of the illegal constructions. Sir, if you regularize, where is the space for that? I mean, are you saying then that every hut is okay now? What is? Can you? I'm not. I'm just keeping an open mind, sir. Are they building pakka houses and saying that now you can move here, or what exactly is playing out?
No, sir, these are houses which is being constructed under the Prime Minister Awas Yojana, where the relocation of slum dwellers in better constructed dwellings, which are on, they are not on illegal lands or anything, but built by the government with all the facilities, piped gas service, electricity, sanitation, and all the facilities. This is what under the Prime Minister Awas Yojana, and this is centrally funded. And this they have been saying, this time they built few houses were made ready, and the slum dwellers were taken by BJP people as part of the election campaign to show, look, this is the kind of quality of constructions you are going to see. So that, and other things, sir, Delhi has been having a master plan. The master plan decides, what is allowed, what is not allowed. And over the years, we have seen encroachments, the anti-encroachment drives. There was one drive by the Supreme Court itself monitored, which saw that was few years ago, when commercial establishments in the residential areas, particularly in South Delhi, where the real estate prices are very high. That has seen health clinics coming up, hospitals, somewhere allowed, somewhere not allowed, eateries coming up. And there was a committee set up by the Supreme Court to monitor it. So the master plan has been, they have been changed repeatedly because of the growing pressure for land and for commercial activity and things like that. So every party which comes, but this time I think there is a lot of focus on issues of sanitation. The what is called the Kuda Ka Pahad, as Arvind Kejriwal has been saying, where all these garbage dumps, some dumps have become like hills. So, that's a big debating point. And there is usual blame game where the Delhi government, the Aam Aadmi Party government is blaming the municipal corporation. So, but definitely, from what I gather from people in different localities, the MCD, the fight between the municipal corporations and the Delhi government, where particularly in paying contractors who lift garbage, many a times, there have been strikes, garbage thrown on the streets, and because the sanitation workers would, to build up pressure, particularly on payment of wages, they would not clear the garbage every day. So you would have everything strewn here, there, and all street dogs making a mess of it. This has been a scenario for some time. Then funds would be released. So this is a big ongoing debate. But at the same time, we are finding, Aam Aadmi Party, which was trying to, go with the plank that they provide cleaner politics, they are corruption free. That has suffered a lot. One, you already have the Delhi excise scam, and before that you had Satyendra Jain. Then all those scams with the ministers in the jail. So and particularly the videos that have been come out showing Satyendra Jain, who is still the jail minister, as well as the health minister, who has not been removed, enjoying the best of facilities in the jail, and his bail has been refused by the special courts, even by Delhi High Court. So you can imagine. So the claim to provide a cleaner government versus what BJP has been, the way the BJP has been municipal corporation, people are rather confused as to which is the cleaner party.
Well, Shekharji, I really, really hope that the houses that are being built under Prime Minister Awas Yojana is only given to citizens of India. Delhi has a huge, huge illegal immigrant population. I can only tell you, you don't have to go very far. You can cast your eye around and you will see for yourself. And then first you have to take care of your own citizens. And I don't know if there is any data you have on that, sir.
No, sir, there has been estimates about the Bangladeshi population, then Rohingya population, and many of them have managed to secure voter card, even Aadhaar card. You know,
Sir, there is
there were,
doubt about Mr. Tahir Hussain, whether he is even an Indian citizen. That
so
rascal was the one mastermind behind all those riots.
definitely, sir, and there has been little headway in actually identifying, foreign nationals in Delhi, and many of them. It's not just in Delhi, sir. In major northern cities, North Indian cities, particularly Jammu. In Jammu, you can notice that Rohingyas have moved into the Jammu outskirts of Jammu city, and the Islamists there have no problem with Rohingyas coming there because they hope at least they will change the demography of Jammu, which is rather more Hindu than Muslim city. But the whole idea is in some places there has been open encouragement. We have seen in Bengal because they are made voters and they become a stock vote bank, and that is the case in Delhi too. But BJP has been making an issue out of it, but nothing has happened in as to actual detection and deportation. First there has to be detection, but then all these people have very valid documents. They have managed to get every document worth the name that to show that they are permanent residents of Delhi.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, because somewhere somebody needs to perfect a template that can be used across India. Why are you saying only North Indian cities, Shekharji? I see it way down south. They have infiltrated the whole of India. This is a very planned infiltration, sir. I mean, it's got some very dangerous portents for the future. Anyway, we'll work on that on another day. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is poised to enter Rajasthan, and the eternal kursi race, musical chairs, is starting again between 𝙤𝙧 and Pilot. Who's going to win that race? And Shekharji can throw a little bit of light. So one challenge that I see with Sachin Pilot is he doesn't have the number, that critical mass numbers supporting him as MLAs, isn't it?
Absolutely, I think you are on the dot, sir. I mean that's a big problem. The Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi and perhaps even Sonia Gandhi would like to remove Ashok Gehlot. But then he commands the majority of the Congress MLAs in the House, and Sachin Pilot is left with very few numbers. But at the same time, since he has the blessings of the High Command, as it were, and you can see that what is happening is first we got the impression that probably the High Command is going for the kill, would somehow get Ashok Gehlot out before Rahul Gandhi's yatra enters Rajasthan. That's on December 4th. Now, and it is going to be there till December 20th. But then we saw a very interesting development where Rahul Gandhi, met both, described both Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot as assets of the party. And since then, you saw both Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot shaking hands and saying that, once Rahul Gandhi has said we are assets of the party, there is no dispute. But that is just for the sake of for the just consumption of probably of the High Command, because then we have seen posters being put up by these two leaders separately to welcome the yatra. Today Sachin Pilot released a video, and similarly Ashok Gehlot has got his own people managing the yatra in different districts, and to show that I think the Rahul Gandhi is more concerned that the yatra goes off peacefully without these things completely eclipsing his this walkathon, as I would say. But so this is a very interesting story. But one thing, sir, I don't see a rapprochement between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. That's not possible. And number one, and number two, Ashok Gehlot is in no mood to listen to anyone. He is not going to quit as CM. If a situation comes where he is asked to step down, probably there will be a revolt and he may form his own Rajasthan Congress. See, because that's getting clear. And other parts, sir, I mean, the irony is Ashok Gehlot accused Sachin Pilot of taking the Congress help. I mean, taking the BJP's help to attempt to oust him from the CM's office. And today, what we are seeing is Ashok Gehlot seems to be more friendly toward the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after Modi praised him publicly at one function where he was all saying that he's one of the longest serving chief ministers of in the country. We are seeing interesting scenario, and uh, Ashok Gehlot, took the best defense is offense. So he went on offensive and called Sachin Pilot a traitor and accused him of taking money 10 crore per MLA from BJP. But all this goes to show, sir, in the next 1 year that is left for Rajasthan elections, things are in total disarray as far as Congress is concerned. But then BJP has to also take advantage of this, and that would require, a more cohesive approach. They will have to involve Vasundhara Raje, who has not been very active, though briefly she was seen in some of the meetings of the BJP, and but then a lot more has to be done by the BJP too, because that's how they can overcome uh, the challenge that is posed. Because ultimately, election time again, they could Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot may be forced by Rahul Gandhi to unite.
Well, we'll wait and see. And if Ashok Gehlot forms his own regional Congress party, then I'm sure it will go the same way as what is happening in Telangana, which is our next state in focus. Do please like this video. I'd like you to do that because I'd like to see more people watching. Shekharji is absolutely spot on with his observations. If you notice, his comments are very middle of the road. He doesn't take sides. He doesn't say this is good, that is bad. He just sees it and he says it as he sees it. Thank you so much. I hope you understood what I said. I kind of mixed up my words a little bit there. But let's take a look at Telangana. Shekharji, Kavita, which is the Kavita Rao, who is a daughter of Chandrasekhar Rao, the chief minister, is under the CBI lens for the liquor scam that's involving Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia also, who unfortunately did not get jailed. That to me is a disappointment. Anyway, sir, Miss Kavita Rao has a very interesting reputation among the jewelers of Hyderabad. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard on WhatsApp University that the jewelers get this, Kavita alert, and then all the expensive jewelry vanishes from the showrooms because in her policy is all get, no give. You understand what I'm trying to say? So this is the reputation that person enjoys. She can come and rebut it. Even in fact, you can come on my show and tell me why I'm wrong, Kavita ji. Because here is the problem. Sometimes we wonder, why is the CBI and ED raiding all these people's houses when we know fully well most of the wealth is abroad? Well, they can always go and look up all these things and say, oh my goodness, you have so many necklaces and earrings and jewelry. Surely you have all the receipts for having paid for this. That's where the interesting things will start. Sir, take it away, sir.
Well, Shreyarji, the latest disclosures by the enforcement director in a remand note to the special judge, saying that there is a South lobby, which is the South cartel, which is involved in the Delhi excise scam, and they have named Kavita, and they have sought her cooperation to, for inquiry, for probe. Now, today I hear she says she doesn't want to come to Delhi to face the ED probe. Rather, she wants the ED to do it in the Hyderabad office or in Hyderabad itself, because for whatever geographical advantage, or she may get her people to, get out the ED office or so, like once Mamata tried in Calcutta, if you remember. So,
sir, Kerala is very known for this. Kerala is well known for this. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, but one thing is clear, sir. Everybody knows Kavita commands a lot of resources. I mean, it's an open secret that when it comes to resources for elections, when it comes to resources for the politics of our party, I mean, everybody knows her management techniques, and her network in Delhi too is largely because of the kind of the financial clout she enjoys. But at the same time, there is a rivalry between her and her son. I mean, her brother, K.T. Ramarao, who is a minister and who is rather seen as, is the next in line to take over from KCR whenever he decides to step down. So what we are seeing is Sir, if you read the remand note, because the remand note was for continued detention of Amit Arora, who is seen as the aide of Manish Sisodia, and also a person named Vijay Nair, who is staying in a government flat in Delhi belonging to a minister, and the details that have been given by the enforcement directorate, that how the prices were kept, wholesale prices, where there was a 12% profit kept in this sale of liquors at the wholesale level, and at the retail level it went even up to 185%. And the kickbacks, at least the 12% wholesale, at least half of it were to come, and ED is figuring out about 100 crore payoff. I mean, and all the people named, some of these South liquor cartels that have been named, they include all people close to KCR's party. So this is a big disclosure, and this has also been a talking point in the MCD elections in Delhi also. Of course, Manish Sisodia has not been named in the first year, but we hear from the enforcement directorate people that this is not the final thing. They can add names. I mean, it can be done at a later stage too. So this is not the end of the story. Nobody has been let off. This has been clarified by the ED officials.
Shekharji, one of the other unfortunate things that has been happening is that some of the local BJP MLAs' houses are being attacked by TRS goons, or we should call them BRS now, it doesn't matter. But this is not fair. I mean, why are you taking out your frustration on the local MP or the local MLA from BJP? And that too, they have gone into one of the person's homes, attack his mother who was praying. I mean, this is knowing no bounds, sir.
And he is the same person, who defeated Kavita in
Yes.
Nizamabad Lok Sabha elections. And all he said was Kavita, because of her problems with her brother and differences with her father also to some extent, because of her role not being recognized sufficiently, that she is probably talking to, because she had come with a very wild allegation that BJP is approaching her. So the Nizamabad MP said, look, it is not BJP approaching her, and why would BJP approach her? It is rather she is attempting to talk to Mallikarjun Kharge, the new Congress president. So that got her very, very livid, and she set her people on this person's house. And as you mentioned, his mother was present, and I believe they even went on a rampage inside the house, not bothering about even the puja room and things like that. That's what some of the visuals showed. Sir, what we are seeing is KCR is now on a path which I feel is, initially he was very close, very friendly with the Prime Minister. Once he saw BJP rising as the main opposition party in Telangana, we have seen him on adopting a tactics where he is using both his cops as well as his party men to intimidate rivals. Even Congress, you see, today he is talking about TRS people being wooed by the BJP. His own methodology was that he got a lot of Congress people to join TRS. And this bizarre case of filing an FIR and saying that some people, three MLAs were approached and they were promised 100 crores worth of contract if they were to leave TRS and come to BJP. Sir, that is too much for an MLA, to each of them to get 100 crores of project. That itself, the offer itself seems, because no money was caught or seized, it was all promise of future projects in their favor. So that I doubt even the veracity of the charge. Not to say that BJP may not be wooing some MLAs, that may be a different thing. But as you mentioned here, a trend which we have noticed, which is in southern states, we have seen in Tamil Nadu before. And whether it was Jayalalitha or the DMK government, they have been very nasty to their rivals. And we are seeing that trend in Telangana, which particularly, and it is getting violent. That is what is alarming. You can have your politics, but then to use your police and your men, I mean, this you're trying to follow. Of course, violence has been part of an undivided Andhra Pradesh politics, sir. Long time. We know Kurnool, Kadapa, all these places are known for political murders. Rajashekar Reddy's baptism in politics was through all this phases of Andhra Pradesh politics, undivided Andhra Pradesh. And even today, you frequently hear of the so-called bomb culture or bombudu culture in Andhra Pradesh, which is part of that local very aggressive politics. So, but what I'm worried is, sir, if at this rate, but the fact is, it has a sanction at the highest level. The fact that the KCR is looking askance at all these developments is a worrisome fact, because ultimately violence begets violence, as we have seen in Kerala. Because where the so-called clashes between Marxist workers and RSS workers, actually, and those RSS workers were all previously Marxist workers, in the sense, Marxist workers who became the RSS workers because of the feuds within the CPM factions. And a lot of them came and joined, and we have seen that also. And of course, we know about Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, similarly, frequently you hear of attempts to intimidate the BJP cadres, because Annamalai is seen to be doing very well as the leader of the opposition, because he is indeed the leader of the opposition, though the BJP strength in the assembly is less, because the ADMK has been a quite bad shape. They are still fighting among themselves. And I mean, the two-leaf symbol, which is, I don't know what is going to happen to that symbol. And EPS is in no mood to patch up with OPS. And Shashikala factor is also doesn't have much impact. So that's the kind of vacuum which the BJP is trying to fill under Annamalai. And this has got lot of those ultra Tamil nationalist groups which are backing DMK quite worried. So, and recently that Kashi Tamil Sangamam, where people, almost 3,000 people have traveled to Kashi, and where Tamil culture has been showcased in Kashi, in a bit to send a message, look, we are not trying to impose Hindi on you, rather we want your culture to come here and explain. It's a kind of an idea that was thought of by the Prime Minister himself, in which Education Ministry was involved. The Culture Ministry was also involved. And the people who have gone from Tamil Nadu to Kashi, they have been quite happy, the response they have got in Kashi. And so the whole thing is, when the arrival of a new player in the political scene, be it Tamil Nadu or in Telangana, and we are seeing a lot of the bad blood being sought to be spilled, so that political gains are made. But that also shows insecurity of leaders like KCR, who fear this. I still do not think that it will be easy to dislodge TRS in Telangana, sir, because of the voting combinations, the support of the minorities. KCR is still in a position where he remains quite strong as on date. But then he is making a lot of mistakes. This kind of mistakes, and Kavita, if see, the ideal way would have been Kavita should have joined the investigation if there was nothing there. But she says, no, first the ED comes before the Prime Minister comes. That kind of rhetoric only goes to show, or rather makes us think whether she has a lot to hide.
Thank you so much, Shekhar ji. And now let's take a look at Vizhinjam port and Kerala politics. We talked about it at length with Sri Mohandas ji a few days ago, but there have been more developments since then. Shekhar ji, your take on what is happening? Mr. Tharoor looks like he's trying to move away from Thiruvananthapuram to another seat. That's one other story doing the round. But Vizhinjam port, since the time we aired our program, a lot of feedback has come saying that Kochi, which is very close, like 150 kilometers, has a port but doesn't have deep water. So it requires constant dredging, and that Vizhinjam is much better in that respect. This is the technical explanation people have given as to why such a big airport at such huge expense, where the return of investment is not going to be there for 18 years, is being taken up. So these are all just the things that were discussed, sir. Tell us how you see this agitation.
So this is a very, very bizarre politics that is being played out there. And Pinarayi Vijayan is in the same position where Buddhadev Bhattacharya was in West Bengal. After the CPM encouraged the disruptionable politics, agitational politics for a long time, not allowing anything to come up either in Bengal or in Kerala. Today, you find Pinarayi Vijayan seriously wants to attract investment, wants to spur growth in Kerala, because that's the only way. The Kerala model, which was once talked about as the best model, today needs complete change. But then some of the hardcore left supporters are also opposed to this, though they are not, though the party is backing this project. But what we are seeing is, you mentioned about Shashi Tharoor may have to shift from Thiruvananthapuram. But what I hear is Rahul Gandhi may shift from Wayanad to Thiruvananthapuram. And this Vizhinjam is actually on the outskirts of Thiruvananthapuram, about 16, 17 kilometers away from Thiruvananthapuram. So I'm not sure who is spurring this agitation, because here is a scenario where the Latin, you see, sir, in Thiruvananthapuram Lok Sabha constituency, Latin Christians are the deciding factor who wins. And the Congress has managed to win the Lok Sabha seat largely on account of the support of the Latin Christians, and then get the support of other groups, whether it is Nair voters or Erava voters. This has been the pattern. Now, what we are seeing is, just in Kudankulam in Tamil Nadu, where the nuclear plant was under construction, there also, similarly, the Latin Church was involved, of the Tirunelveli diocese was involved there, and they were kept on leading the agitation, and there also violence was there. Similarly, in the intervening night of November 26th and 27th, a lot of people came and attacked the local police station, which has completely changed the scene there. Because this project was conceived in 1991, sir, and as you mentioned, all the necessary points. The fact that this place has 18 meters depth and just 10 nautical miles from the international shipping line. So the idea is, you can develop Vizhinjam as a port which can be an important port of fisheries, but as well as a mega transshipment port, which currently we do not have on the western coast, a major transshipment port. Of course, Cochin is far away, and what is being aimed at is, several project studies have gone into it, that because this Vizhinjam is close to that shipping line between Southeast Asia and West Asia, and it could attract a lot of traffic which is currently using Dubai or Singapore or Colombo. So these are the arguments that I've been saying, and this project is 7,700 crore project, sir. So what happened was, for a long this agitation, and now the fishermen are agitated about something else. They are talking about the erosion of land, and that the state government has not done anything to rehabilitate them. And many of them are putting up in some cement godowns nearby, and it is about their housing. The other problem, again, a fear, just as you had a fear being stoked about, Kudankulam project would kill all the flora and fauna of that region, and there would be no fish left for them, for the fishermen to do business. Similarly, the argument here is two breakwaters will come. One breakwater will be about 1.5 kilometers, and another will be 6 kilometers, and that itself is going to cost 1,600 crores, which will be borne by the Kerala government. And Adanis are spending about 2,600 crores, and Kerala government other expenses will be 4,000 crores, because you'll have a mass transit line and so other things. Sir, but today the matter went to the Kerala High Court, and Kerala High Court passed an order in October saying that the obstruction should be removed and the project should continue. Now, Kerala government has been unable to enforce this Kerala High Court order to allow the Adanis to start the project. I mean, rather, to resume the project, I would say. Because already the project has missed several deadlines. It was at least the first phase was to be completed by December 2019. That has not happened. So today, what we are seeing is, church is playing a big role. Now, because the church is active there, you are seeing an interesting scenario where the party, the ruling party, Marxist Party, and BJP and a lot of Hindu groups are also out there saying that the project must be allowed to happen, and so that it changes the economic stagnation of that region, so that there will be, and a lot of interviews have come. See, apart from fishermen who are agitating on their own, and people are pointing out that a port Cochin port has not caused a loss of fish resources in that region. People continue to fish there. Similarly, Mangalore or anywhere there is a port, it has not affected fishing. So why should this affect? But then they are giving reasons, sir. Similarly, Kudankulam required a tough hand of Jayalalitha to ensure that the agitators were thrown out and the project was completed, and Kudankulam the project was started. Because Jayalalitha managed to secure the centre's assurance, the first unit of 2,000 megawatt would entirely be fed to the Tamil Nadu grid. And those were the days when Tamil Nadu was facing serious power shortage. So she had a reason to, get the protesters out. But here, similarly, Pinarayi came with that other project, which is the Silver Line project. Super speed train services from Thiruvananthapuram to Kasargod. That again, and Congress is also in the forefront. And this time we saw there is one father, 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙀𝙀 who is leading that agitation there, and he named the Kerala Ports Minister and Kerala other ministers a terrorist because one of them happened to be Muslims. And in turn, the Kerala concerned Muslim minister Abdul Rahim, Rahman rather, and Abdul Rahman, who is a fisheries minister, he accused the church of actually causing a rebellion there. So, and the Hindu groups like you have Hindu groups like Akhila Hindu Vedi and all, they are fully into it. So you have CPM and BJP on one side who are for the project, and Congress is on the other project, and we hear of Rahul Gandhi shifting to Thiruvananthapuram in the 2024 election. So, but sir, the big thing is, if you allow this Frankenstein of this agitational approach, or ultimately, somebody has to bell the cat. And sir, Adani's have moved the Kerala High Court yesterday, saying that local police is not able to, rather there is reluctance on the part of the local police to clear the protesters. Therefore, may central forces be deployed. And I think the matter is going to again come December 7th. Sir, Kerala faces huge unemployment issues and things like that. And fortunately, you are seeing Marxists themselves want a project to come there. But that is being opposed. And sir, all others, well-known left writers and others, they have all have turned against Pinarayi Vijayan, saying that, he has fallen for the Adani trap and things like that. Sir, nobody wanted. Adani was the only bidder left for this project. Earlier, there was the Lanco. Lanco group was very close to Congress because, after all, the project was given clearance during Women Chandi's time.
Shekharji, even Adani was actually persuaded by the Kerala government to take up this project. Even he was not too gung-ho, looking at the return of investment of 18 years. So it's a moot point now what's going to happen, because I think close to 30 to 40% of the work has been completed, and it doesn't make any sense to now pull back, and they have to figure this out. Just a couple of things before we segue into Tamil Nadu. That will be our last topic, and then after that we'll take up questions. I hope you have no objection to letting this program go a little longer than an hour, sir.
No problem. We can go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, because we have a breadth of topics to cover. Each state has its own set of problems. I just wanted to give our viewers an update on Kudankulam. The Kudankulam is supposed to have had either 4 or 5 reactors. So if one reactor gave 2 megawatt or 200 or 2000 megawatt, I beg your pardon, 4 or 5 would have given you 10,000. And from what I'm hearing, even the second reactor has not gone critical yet. So there is a big concern, because again, I'm hearing there are silent agitations going on. I'm not completely clear. Perhaps Shekharji can throw some light on that. Second is about Thoothukudi Sterlite. The local people now want it reopened. And as far as the police action on temples is concerned, tomorrow we have an 8 o'clock. Dr. Swami, myself, and T.R. Ramesh will be talking about that. That we will not perhaps discuss today because we are running a little bit late. Shekharji, your thoughts on what is happening in Tamil Nadu police, sir?
Sir, Tamil Nadu police, one time they were known for their efficiency, but they are also known for strong political allegiance. And also in terms of custodial deaths, we have heard several horrible incidents where people were rounded up even during COVID period, a father and son were taken up and beaten to death in the police station. There have been such instances before. But now what we are seeing is, because of strong political allegiance, and so wherever there is opposition to the ruling party or to the ruling combination, if there is an agitation or even that, they come down very heavily. Invariably, it results in a lot of violence, a lathi charge, and things like that. This has been a pattern, and absolutely there is no move by the political leadership there, which is currently in power, to rein in them. Of course, if the things get bad, then they call for an inquiry or things like that. That is how, the sterilite agitation, it was a stupid agitation in the first place, in the sense that the very fact that, yes, Vedanta had also made some mistakes, in the sense they claimed before Supreme Court they would invest a lot on, pollution control measures, which were not done to the level that was expected of them. But at the same time, we did not realize that there were lobbies working outside which wanted to, which did not want India to produce its own copper, so that, our dependency on the imported copper would come down. So definitely these foreign forces were at work. That is why the role of the church in Thoothukudi came into question, because all those people who gathered that day, they all gathered from that local church, and then they tried to stop the collector's office, and which finally resulted to such ugly incidents. Sir, policemen, particularly in Tamil Nadu, are known to be trigger happy. I mean, when they realize the situation could get out of control, they do not go by the rule book as to how to handle a riotous mob. So we have seen that, and particularly after that inquiry, I mean, though it was always clear that the police action was disproportionate to the agitationists, but these things happen, and then the whole problem is, sir, there has to be some kind of a balance in terms of police tend to be, they follow the dictates of their political masters, and no matter which party is there. And now we are getting to see a lot more ugly things are happening. Now, take for instance, sir, what has come out now, that the Prime Minister's office, and particularly the Prime Minister's security, the Special Protection Group and the Intelligence Bureau, they have, found that during the chess Olympiad, which which the Prime Minister inaugurated, the security details were rather not followed closely, and some of the security equipment used were of faulty nature. This is a very, very serious, lapses that were noticed, and which have been recorded, and they have been conveyed to Tamil Nadu government also. Now, we haven't heard from the Tamil Nadu government as to what is the response, and they are trying to dismiss it off. Take, for instance, the first responses to the Coimbatore incident, where the blast happened. It was made out as a cylinder blast. Now, the very fact that the police tend to act respond in a manner which rather reveals the political compulsions of the ruling party, this is where it gets us worried. Sir, if similar things have happened in Mangalore, but at least the state government there immediately, the NIA was there the next day. Here it took a long time. By the time, you do not know what is the sanctity of the evidence that were left behind or to be collected. So these are issues which is definitely bothering the Union Home Ministry. At the same time, with sir, already the honeymoon period is over for the local government. We know for a fact that there is a lot of diminishing returns for the DMK at the local level, because non-fulfillment of promises, and also the behavior of the DMK leaders and some ministers, which has also left the voters in not a great mood. That is why Stalin himself voiced his concern when he addressed the General Council. He says, every night I go to sleep wondering what controversy will hit our party, who will say what how will our ministers behave. So these are these high-handed cultures, the high-handed political culture, which we have seen in Tamil Nadu for some time. I mean, this used to be said during Jayalalitha period, and generally it was said that under Karunanidhi it was not so bad. But today we are back to seeing a situation where whether these local DMK fellows are, they are calling the shots, and probably at the state level, maybe Stalin and his other political leaders are not able to not able to control them.
Well, it is coming to a head, especially with what's been happening in with respect to the temples, and I don't know, they don't seem to want to answer these questions, and the journalists' lives are in peril. That's the other problem. They frequently get thrown in jail. I'm just overall not very happy with the way things are going in Tamil Nadu. I'll leave it at that. Shekharji, with your permission, let's take some questions, sir.
Definitely.
Let's go with the questions, please. Rajesh Singh wants to know what could be the mystery behind Congress not fighting it out in Gujarat.
Well, Rajesh ji, from what I gather is Rahul Gandhi, doesn't want any defeat to be associated to him, because he feels that he had to take the brunt of the blame for the 2014 defeat of the Congress at the national level, and again another defeat in 2019. That is why he resigned as Congress president. So somewhere along, I think he is not a leader who is willing to embrace defeat for the sake of future victories. That is why you find a Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is more interested in setting a political narrative than fighting elections. Otherwise, you tell me, why would they avoid states like Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh, which are going to polls? And instead of that, spending 20 days in Kerala, then going to Telangana. Of course, Telangana may be going to poll, then Karnataka, then Maharashtra. Rather, you would actively campaign as you did in 2017, because Rahul Gandhi campaigned hard in Gujarat in 2017. But this time, sir, is it because of absence of leaders like Ahmed Patel? The late Ahmed Patel used to be the so-called master strategist for the Congress. There is definitely something is going amiss in the Congress, and Rahul Gandhi has got everybody to this yatra business which is going on. Okay, it's a nice way to know your country. I mean, if you have not known it before, I mean, this kind of yatra, there has to be a purpose and there has to be a follow up. I can't see a purpose, nor I can see any arrangements being made for a follow up, because all these yatra will be just media events, and okay, you may meet a lot of people, and wherever it goes, it may create some local excitement, but it definitely needs an organization follow up. So that's why in Gujarat, particularly, sir, Congress has got up about 39% vote. Even in the worst of times, they have always managed to retain 38, 39% vote. But the question is, that vote is now being challenged by Aam Aadmi Party. And if at all, the first victim of Aam Aadmi Party would be Congress. Of course, there is a possibility in some urban areas the BJP voters may also shift. But I do not see that with the aggressive kind of campaign by the Prime Minister, and and there is a connect between Prime Minister Modi and Gujarat people, no doubt, particularly in urban centers. So therefore, the mystery, as far as I can see, the mystery is he didn't want a Rahul Gandhi versus uh, Narendra Modi kind of a battle narrative, which he always feels is in favor of Narendra Modi. But then they have already made other mistakes. See, they have been making those loose comments. After all, Modi is known to take advantage of statements like Maut Ka Saudagar, which Sonia Gandhi did, which Sonia Gandhi had read out a speech and saying that Modi is a merchant of death, Maut Ka Saudagar. Now, this time again, you find a seasoned leader like Malsan Mistry saying that unko औकात दिखा देंगे Prime Minister को. We'll put him in place. Rather, we'll show him his worth. And then Kharge, of all people, sir, he comes and says, why are you campaigning in every election? Are you Ravan? And Prime Minister did not miss the opportunity. He has been, ever since Kharge made that statement in his meetings after that, he has been saying, look, this is the land of Ram Bucks, and I am being referred as Ravan. So you can imagine, this kind of, and Kharge's whatever little contribution to Gujarat campaign has ended up being a talking point for Prime Minister Modi.
Next question, please. CA Vishwanathan wants to know, are the Adani's money bags of Modi, is it with scientific corruption and GST model? Do you think Adani ji will be the next 2G scam? Your views, please.
Sir, it is like this. So far, if you are asking in terms of evidence, the only evidence seems to be that they are backing some big contracts. And at the same time, they are the only ones left in some projects like we saw in the Vizhinjam project. So therefore, whether there will be a future scam, one doesn't know. But in terms of tendering process, there is that does show that they are the highest bidders. And when we get, like, they managed to get a good number of airports, and they are also getting the Dharavi redevelopment project. So in terms of projects and volume, it does raise questions. But is any method being, is being twisted and turned to favor them, we'll have to wait and see when some inquiry report comes or some evidence comes. But before that, we'll have to see how they execute the projects and what kind of delivery they're able to show. I think then only we can see whether, you know, whether there is a scam or not. Otherwise, it will be too early to pass a judgment, I would say.
Srinivas Kamban party was to know what is the reason for voters voting for CMs and PMs instead of voting for the MLA or MP? How can we change this?
What is happening is they do vote for the local representative. But where it helps a party is when the popularity of the chief minister is, more than that of the popularity of the party as represented by these legislators. There, it helps. Like in the case of Prime Minister Modi, because the popularity, as I mentioned, the anti-incumbency factors dogging the BJP ministers, MLAs, is on one side, or rather, it is versus that anti-incumbency with the pro-incumbency of the Prime Minister. Sir, even in states like Odisha, Naveen Patnaik commands a good connect with the people. So that is why, he is the longest serving chief minister in India today. And BJD, Biju Janata Dal MLAs, they get elected on Naveen Patnaik's name. And Naveen Patnaik himself initially came with his father's legacy, Biju Patnaik's. So therefore, the reason for voters is when they finally see that the chief minister's face or the prime minister, they feel that ultimately and this time Prime Minister Modi made it a point to say everywhere that don't look at the candidate. Because if you want to strengthen me, strengthen my hands, you vote for the symbol. Because a vote for the symbol is a vote for me, and I can take care of you. Because there was no mincing of words. It was very clear.
And Srinivas, just to give you an idea, there is one specific MLA in Tamil Nadu Assembly. He belongs to the BJP. His name is Gandhi. And he doesn't wear slippers. He has never worn slippers. He always walks barefoot. And he won in a very, 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 borderline Hindu constituency because of his reputation and for having served that constituency even when he was not the MLA. Very selfless person. In fact, George Ponnaya was taking a dig at him, saying that I'll always wear shoes. I'll never let my feet touch the ground. It was taking a dig at him. And then he turned rogue and then started talking ill of DMK also. But my point in saying all this is, yes, some MLAs do have pulling power because of their personal integrity. But today, everything has become a business, my friend. That is the problem. Thank you, sir. Next question. Ashok wants to know, BJP admitting many Congress members is not a good sign. BJP depends only on Modi like once Congress depended on Indira Gandhi. This is also dangerous. Your thoughts, sir.
Well, there are, diminishing returns in the long run to this kind of approach. But then, the real politic demands that every party has to win elections. Unless it's a Congress party under Rahul Gandhi, which is more bothered about setting a political narrative than winning elections. See, sir, political parties do not run ashrams. See, they don't run bhajan mandalis. So they have to win elections. And unfortunately, the winnability factor has become such a basic issue. The 𝙒𝙗𝙠, the means and ends are not matching many times. And this is not a new thing, taking people from other parties. The earlier Congress has done it before, but taking people from other parties. Now BJP has also done it. I mean, this is not and tomorrow, this is the way you try to beat your opponent. But whether this is the symbol of, whether this can be a clean politics, well, no, this is not the ideal politics. But then political parties cannot wait for a day for them to do ideal politics. So that does not happen, because like in trade and businesses, you for a long-term success, you always say good corporations are those who follow ethics. But then the pressure on profitability, pressure on to show your shareholders that you can deliver on results. There are numerous instances in the corporate world where there have been shortcuts. I think the same thing one sees in politics, but it does leave voters completely disgusted, completely disenchanted with the whole process.
Thank you, sir. That's the best answer one could have given. Mr. Lee wants to know. Welcome back, Mr. Lee. You haven't been asking any questions for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Hope you are freed up now to ask questions. Who is funding the protests in Vizhinjam? What is making the CPIM and BJP cadre jointly support this project?
Well, the CPM is in power there, and they want to show some development before the next Lok Sabha elections and Assembly elections. Because we are told the first ship the other day, the Kerala shipping minister was saying that the first ship would arrive by September 2023. That is when they are expecting the first terminal will be ready. I think, sir, there is the problem is there is an economic stagnation in Kerala, and Kerala model is at one time it was talked about as Kerala model, Kerala model, before we got Delhi model or Gujarat model. But today, the problems that the Kerala faces in terms of unemployment and also the dependence on agriculture is also coming down, because agriculture is not able to cater to the demands of the unorganized sector as well as to so many hands. Therefore, it is necessary that whatever projects that are feasible and possible should come up in Kerala. Now, Pinarayi Vijayan has assurance and backing of Prime Minister Modi that when it comes to development, the rivalry between CPM and BJP would not come in the way of development. And this is the kind of assurance Pinarayi Vijayan got when he became Chief Minister in his first term. Since then, that cooperation has not been jeopardized by political rivalries on the ground in Kerala. The other problem is, since the church is involved on one side, we are seeing, BJP feels that, look, that there is too much of involvement of the church in this agitation, and there is a vested interest behind it. Somebody is trying to prevent a development of a mega transshipment port on West Coast. And because we are already saying that this could become, Vizhinjam could become a competitor to Colombo. It can become a competitor to Singapore or other ports, nearby ports. And it's only 10 nautical miles from the international shipping line. And a project like this for Kerala, sir, is a kind of an oxygen, I would say, because this will lead to several ancillary industries, service sector growth. A lot of things could happen in Kerala, which is not possible today. Yes, Kerala has a tremendous land pressure, is a narrow strip of land. I mean, no doubt, that is why Silver Line project has been hanging fire. But to oppose, it's the same problem in Goa. You have people who are, again, there is a church angle in Goa too, where there is opposition to any project in the name of environment. And consequently, the unemployment is high, and the entire Goa youths are dependent on tourism, which is seasonal. Otherwise, there is a lot of social tension and economic crisis in Goa as well as in Kerala.
True. Next question, please. Anish Nagaraj wants to know, do you know what plan has the central government got to deal with the crypto-Christians?
Well, I do not know whether Center has a specific plan to deal with this, but definitely we are hearing that the other day the Union Center filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying that forcible conversions are a serious problem and they are violation of the law. The sense, particularly forcible conversions, means using the lure of money or other things to get people to convert, particularly of the poorest of the sections. That is not something that this government, particularly the Modi government, will allow in any state, because we have already seen how the role of money through various NGOs. That's why the FCRA was amended. The crackdown on NGOs was largely on account of this, because many of these NGOs, in the name of doing charitable services, were often found to be indulging in places which are very sensitive to us, like places like Northeast. Anyway, the many groups consider it is there, and it was also made clear that this is not a fundamental right. See, propagation of your religion does not give you a fundamental right to convert, and using these questionable methods. This is a stand that the Supreme Court, the central government has taken in the Supreme Court, which is, I think, first time Center has taken such a strong stand. And there are already anti-conversion laws in the many state governments have passed. Rather, where there were laws, they have been strengthened further.
Next question from Chaitanya Tatli. On what basis caste-based reservation is thrusted upon constituencies given that India never had a caste census, at least in the freedom after 1947?
So that is true, sir, because caste census, definitely the mood in the official quarters is not to, does not favor a caste census, because this is going to open a Pandora's box. Already we have seen, the way first you had only reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. That was initially, even Dr. Ambedkar wanted it. It should not be in perpetuity. It should be on a basis to see how the benefits reach people, and so that eventually we don't have to depend on the system. But then it is now so well entrenched, the quota system. Consequently, there are other groups claiming to want to be included in that, and including the OBC reservation of 33% came because there was a ceiling of cap. But then now state governments, after the EWS 10% EWS thing got, state governments are now going ahead and doing it the way Tamil Nadu did. Tamil Nadu went for a 69% and got their law to be put in the ninth schedule, so that these are not challenged in the courts. Now, similarly, Chhattisgarh government has again gone in for a huge increase in the reservation quota beyond the 50% cap, and they want center to put it again in the ninth schedule.
Next question, and this I think the last one. Devki Nandan wants to know, what do you think government is going to do to control illegal immigration from Bangladesh? Bengal will become the Hindu minority soon, if not curbed.
Well, sir, at least now the border security force has been given orders to check smuggling as well as infiltration, both on the Bangla border as well as on the other borders, particularly crack down on drug trafficking and other things. But as far as to people who are already inside the country, see, our problem is who are already in. Though there may not be open illegal migration as earlier, but definitely our challenge is how we go about detecting these foreign nationals who have acquired, all the papers, they have acquired documents, and there are pressure on our system. And at the same time, I can't see any government actually thinking of, identifying them. Though we have the laws are clear about it, but I can't see a political will, or there may be a political will, but then the whole process is so cumbersome and involves several legal procedures and identification and verification. One does not know if at all this problem can be actually solved by of detecting and deporting those foreign nationals who are well entrenched here.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'm going to go back and put the original question. This was a question that you just answered. Well, yeah. So here is a question which says, on what basis caste-based reservation is thrusted? He says he meant it as far as declaring a particular constituency based on caste, like scheduled constituency or something like that. So when it comes to elections, see, the election, that classification is happening on a periodic basis. Whereas the caste census stopped in way back, 1931 or something like that. So how does the connection happen? Now the government is saying that this particular constituency should be reserved. That's the question.
That is done by the Delimitation Commission. See, that there is a rotation of constituencies happen. See, that goes by the Delimitation Commission, which wants to see that each constituency is not disproportionately represented, in the sense you have a smaller constituency and a bigger constituency, and there is a delimitation exercise. And the next delimitation exercise has to be done by 2026, which will also, because the delimitations were done, the rotations were done without increasing the total number of seats of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But I think by 2026, now you will have that number will also go up. See, the number of constituents, the parliamentary seats will go up. Both, first it will be the Lok Sabha. So ultimately, that is why the new parliament building is looking at a seating capacity of more than 1,000 representatives.
True. Well, that brings us to a close of today's session. As always, a very enriching one. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. We would really appreciate your comments on this program, its content, its duration. And Shekharji, as always, Thank you so much, sir. And we'll continue to try and keep it on Saturdays so that it gives you some sort of a visibility on planning your weekend also. Thank you once again, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.